the bottomless, gaping pit of insecurity you call a soul.
Yeah. Weird.
Eventually, probably soon, the world will recognize you for the pitiful disappointment you are. You are not worthy of my respect. You are not a god. You are simply bad product.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Woke Vibes. You know the saying, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. And if you've ever scrolled through the comments of any Disney release, you've probably seen it. Respect the lore. So, let's talk about Disney, the absolute giant of the media world. Right now, the Walt Disney Company owns a mind-boggling number of media entities, making it the biggest media powerhouse on Earth. And that's not even counting the hundreds of smaller, subsidiary brands under its umbrella. But believe it or not, Disney wasn't always this unstoppable force. There was a time when the entire future of the company hinged on one movie, its first full-length animated feature, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Back in 1937, this was the biggest gamble Walt Disney had ever taken. The entire industry laughed at him. A feature-length animated movie? No way that was going to work. Critics called it Disney's folly. They thought it would be the end of his dream. But guess what? Walt Disney proved them all wrong. When Snow White hit theaters in 1938, it became the highest-grossing film of the year. Adjusted for inflation, it's still the most successful animated movie in history. And the Academy? They were so impressed that they gave Walt Disney an Oscar, plus 7 miniature Oscars to honor the Seven Dwarfs. You can still see them proudly. Displayed at the Walt Disney Museum today, this movie is a piece of Hollywood history, a game-changer for animation, and a symbol of Disney's legacy. Except, well, not everyone seems to love it. Not even Snow White herself. To be continued.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
So let's talk about Disney's latest disaster. Because, oh boy, it's a train wreck in slow motion. Once upon a time, Walt Disney bet everything on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He put the company's entire future on the line. Risky? Absolutely. Dumb? According to some, maybe. But here's the thing. It worked. It became the highest-grossing animated movie ever. Adjusted for inflation, and cemented Disney as an unstoppable force in entertainment. Fast forward to today, and we have the complete opposite. Enter Rachel Zegler, the actress who has done more to tank her own movie than anyone in recent memory. And that's saying a lot. Compare the original Snow White poster to the new one. Spot the difference? Yeah, I can. The audience hates this version. The backlash? Massive. The first trailer racked up 1.2 million dislikes, making it the most disliked Disney trailer in history. The latest sneak peek? 84,000 dislikes in just 2 days. That ratio is brutal. 20-1 against. But honestly, should we be surprised? If the lead actor spends more time complaining about the role than actually selling the movie, why should the audience care? She's openly mocked the original film, dismissed the fan base, and acted like playing a Disney princess is some kind of punishment. Look, if you're an actor, your job is to sell the movie, even if it's bad. That's the gig. You don't have to love it, but at least pretend you do. That's literally the job description. Now, Disney is scrambling, desperately trying to tie this version of Snow White back to the original masterpiece. And that's exactly why I wanted to revisit history, because the difference is night and day. Stay tuned, because this mess is only getting worse. Intro, all right. So let's just dive right into this mess. This is the original Disney feature production slate. You know, the classic old school slates from the golden era of Disney. And now, Disney is shoving this nostalgia down everyone's throat, desperately trying to link this new, soulless cash grab to the beloved animated classic. You can even find the original Snow White production slate being paraded around like a trophy. But let's be real, this isn't a tribute, it's a marketing ploy. They're trying to force a connection between something timeless and this AI-generated-looking green screen slop that nobody asked for. And then there's this bizarre whistling moment. When you whistle, it's your heart singing. What? What kind of ungodly corporate boardroom nonsense is that? And then we get to the dwarves. Or should I say, whatever these things are supposed to be, instead of keeping them as classic animated characters, or hiring actual dwarf actors. Disney somehow landed in the worst possible middle ground. Weird, hyper-realistic, cartoonish things. Like, what even is this? Peter Dinklage complained. And somehow, we got this instead? And here's the real kicker. The whistle while you work scene got leaked. And wow, did they flip the entire story upside down? In the original, the dwarves provide Snow White with shelter and protection through their hard work. And in return, she's grateful. She cooks, she cleans, she helps them out. In this version, Snow White is literally teaching the dwarves how to work for her. Disney really looked at one of the most beloved animated films of all time and said, yeah, let's just change everything, and the result? A movie getting ratioed into oblivion before it even hits theaters. Well done, Disney, well done.
When I was a little girl,
All right, let's talk about Disney's latest disaster. So Disney's new Snow White is already a dumpster fire, and we haven't even gotten to the worst of it yet. The casting? Awful. The visuals? AI-generated slop. The story? Pure cringe. And let's be real, when you cast an actress who spends more time girl-bossing and bashing the original film than actually selling the movie, what do you expect? Snow White? More like Snow Woke. Disney just dropped another trailer, and surprise, surprise, it's getting absolutely ratioed into oblivion. We're talking 160,000 dislikes and counting. The first trailer, 1.2 million dislikes. The new one, 50% more dislikes than likes. This is record-breaking failure territory, and the audience isn't buying it. The comments are brutal, visually disgusting. Just stop with the live-action remakes. Disney, admit you have no original ideas left. Honestly, can we just boycott this already? Disney is in full damage control mode, panicking, backpedaling, and now even axing some of their woke initiatives. But as Critical Drinker put it, you can't just slap a band-aid on this mess, you have to flush out the clogged pipeline of garbage first. And this is sewage-level content. At this point, Disney might as well just dump it on streaming and move on. I mean, I'm not spending a dime on this, and neither should you. It's like a car crash. You almost want to look just to see how bad it gets, but nope. I refuse. Shout out to Geeks Plus Gamers, Nerdrotic, and Critical Drinker. Those guys will. Probably suffer through it so we don't have to. Anyway, it's your boy, Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't waste your time on this movie. See ya! Disney's Snow White is a total disaster. Here's why, alright, let's talk about Disney's biggest failure in years, the live-action Snow White. It's bad. No, actually, it's worse than bad. It's record-breakingly awful. We've seen some pretty terrible remakes over the years, but this might take the crown for the biggest cinematic train wreck Disney has ever produced. The casting controversy first off, let's talk about Rachel Zegler. If you want your film to succeed, maybe, just maybe, don't cast an actress who openly mocks the original movie, the character, and the fans. Zegler has gone on record saying she hates the original Snow White, thinks it's outdated, and even suggested that the prince is creepy. So let me get this straight. Disney cast someone who doesn't even respect the movie to play the lead role? Genius move, guys. Really. And it gets worse. The dwarves? Gone. Instead, we get weird, AI-looking, hyper-realistic creatures that are neither fully animated nor real actors. They could have gone with traditional animation. They could have cast actual dwarf actors. But no, they went straight into Uncanny Valley territory. The audience backlash, let's talk numbers. The first trailer got 1.2 million dislikes.